bear with me here for a second. You'll remember back about a year and a half ago when I was on your show, and at the same time, you had on that particular day a man who was going to give you a market report. And I made the statement that the price of crude oil was going down to $50 a barrel. He didn't say anything. And then whenever I said that the price of, that the reason they were going to do this, I'd been told, was to bankrupt the OPEC oil-producing countries of the world. I guess he couldn't hold himself any longer, and he snickered and chuckled over the air and said, Chaplain, that can't be. Well, it took place exactly as this man had told me it was going to happen.
Yeah, let's be specific. When it was $50 a barrel, he said it would go to $150 in the next year. That happened. Then you said they're going to drive it down to $50. That he told you to bankrupt the OPEC nations, and now that's happening.
Yes, it's happening exactly like he said. Now he said, watch the price of gasoline at the gas pump. And, folks, this is what you need to prepare for the next 12 months' time, is because related to the depreciation of the American dollar, which they already have it planned to withdraw the value of the American dollar's purchasing power by 30 to 50%, more likely 50%, that means that if the OPEC oil-producing countries still receive only $50 a barrel for their oil and purchasing power of the American dollar, you are going to be paying at the gas pump more than likely 50% more than what you're paying right now within the next 12 months' time.
All right, continuing. What's going on with Israel? What did he tell you about war?
I was amazed. I'm going to go into something even more startling than that first, if I may, Alex. And you stop me if I say something that you know might be a little bit too much. I was amazed at this man. And he knew it all the time. He said Israel sent their Mossad into other countries outside of Israel. They had forged passports. Everything was secretive, and they went after some leaders of Hamas and assassinated them. And, when this man was telling me this, I was sitting here almost with my mouth open saying, wait a minute, I didn't ask him this. I said, you knew about this before it happened. He did. He knew every bit of this was going to happen. Listen, folks, I say this for this reason. I'm not going to go into this anymore because this could really get me in trouble. But every single thing that you are hearing this individual talk about.
Lindsey, I understand that. Listen, no, go ahead and spill it all. I mean, tell us. What did he say about the Israeli hit squads? That's in the news now. What did he say?
Yeah, well, Israel did it. And they did it with forged passports from the Mossad, their secretive organization, and they went in and got their Hamas person. I mean, can we not even get a man in Afghanistan, the America, as big as we are? We can't even take care of some.
Well, specifically, though, I mean, why was he telling you this? Was this just a side issue?
It was just kind of a side issue, as if to say, hey, I knew about it all the time.
Okay, well, go through the rest of your notes. Go through the rest of your notes. I mean, what else did he say we should know?
Okay, let's go into Afghanistan, Pakistan, and Yemen, because this is very important. Afghanistan, Pakistan, Yemen, I said, what should we look at there? What should we consider? And these are his exact words. He said, it's nothing but saber rattling. He said, don't pay any attention to it. Then we went into why this is even out there right now. Folks, please understand, Afghanistan produces 87% of the world's opium crop in any given year. That means that more than 90% of the heroin in Great Britain and the world comes from Afghanistan, and banks in the world banks now, not just American banks, banks all over the world, in transfer of funds from the opium trade alone in any given day, transfer more money than any other one product on the face of this earth, and that means that they're making literally billions of dollars off of opium trade transfer of funds. And really, when we went into Afghanistan, we didn't do anything in the world but go in there to protect the bankers' interest. And then one of the biggest pipelines in the world goes across Afghanistan. Now do you wonder why we're in Afghanistan?
What did he say? Okay, so he was telling you this. Lindsey Williams, what did he say this was a distraction from?
He said this was a distraction from some major issues, whatever they want it to be at that particular time. He didn't mention the distraction, but it definitely distracts.
Did he say anything about Iran? Did he say anything about Iran?
Oh, positively. I mean, he's very firm about Iran. He said there is not going to be any war with Iran right now. He said, Chaplain, don't be concerned about it. Sleep well at night. Those are my words. Those are not his. You don't have to be worried about it. It'll be a year to a year and a half before there is war with Iran. Now, folks, you've got to remember...
Well, wait a minute. He said they are... hold on. He said they are going to attack in a year and a half?
He said there will be more in the Middle East somewhere a little after a year and a half from now, but he said we don't want war with Iran right now. And he said the only way that war with Iran right now is going to take place if Israel starts it. He was very firm about this.
So that would be right before a year and a half would be going into the election. They may start a war then.
Oh, it very well could take place. In fact, he said positively war is planned. I mean, there's no question, but they're on the drawing board.
Lindsey, millions of people are listening. Tell us what else on your notes he said is going to happen in the next year.
Well, he said, first of all, there's going to be some major upsets in the elections. Of course, that's nothing new. You all knew that. I've got to go to Dubai and Dubai World. He spent a lengthy period of time in the course of our conversation on the derivatives. And, oh, my goodness, very few people even know what a derivative is. I know you've covered it on your program, but the average American, even some businessmen don't. He said, Chaplain, distinguish between Dubai City and Dubai World, because he had told me back a year and a half ago that Dubai City was going to become a ghost town. In fact, Alex, I appeared on your show and made the statement that Dubai City would become a ghost town and that there would be some major problems over there financially. I was laughed at. People thought I was crazy. They said you shouldn't say things like this. Now, he comes along and says, Chaplain, distinguish between Dubai City and Dubai World. Now, many of you will remember back about 4 or 5 years ago during the Bush administration, Dubai World, not Dubai City, but Dubai World tried to take over the management of all of our port facilities in America. Some people
over 40 of them.
Said, Congress, you can't do it. Well, he said, Chaplain, Dubai World is the greatest promoter and creator of derivatives in the world today. And he said because of Dubai World's default on $80 billion back over the Thanksgiving holidays, he said it has jeopardized the entire world's banking system, and the average person has not the slightest idea how close to default the whole world's banking system is because of Dubai World, whose tentacles literally reach into every nation on the face of this earth with all of their financial involvements. He said, watch Dubai World, and he said you're going to see some major things. Then is when he went into the fact that you're going to see some other OPEC oil-producing countries. Now, that includes more than just the Middle East. That includes Nigeria, that includes Mexico, that includes this brings up a whole different world. And all these countries that are all producing, that are a part of the OPEC arm, he said you're going to see one after the other have financial problems, do the same thing that Dubai World did. Alex?
And let me add this. This is a prisonplanet.com headline right now, and it quotes mainstream news articles. Prominent investor, pound could collapse within weeks. British currency is on the brink, according to billionaire financier Jim Rogers. And we know it's even coming out in the European Parliament that Goldman Sachs, J.P. Morgan Chase, and others are engineering this total global meltdown. They robbed us so they'd be flush in cash a year and a half ago with the banker bailout. Now they're moving into phase two. Did he talk about about the bankers and where we go after a year?
He only talked about the fact that you see, everything really revolves around crude oil. It's the standard currency of the world. And whenever crude oil prices go to and stay about where they're doing right now, between $70 and $80, which is $50 worth of purchasing power, but yet it takes Saudi Arabia $80 in purchasing power of the American dollar to even be able to maintain their infrastructure. What he's basically saying is this whole thing is going to collapse like a dominoes. And he said, you just be ready for the fact that one after the other are going to bite the dust, as Dubai World did. So basically, everything that you've been saying on your program is exactly what's taking place. Now, let me go into the next item. He went into health care, and I think it's probably because of the fact that he's 87 years of age that he did this. But I'll just make his statement. I wish he had elaborated more. He said, the health care bill is not a health care bill. I mean, I was amazed. I'm still sitting here dumbfounded. He said the health care bill is total government takeover. And I said, what do you mean? He said, read the fine print. And I said, what do you mean? And he said, health care bill basically in a nutshell is gun confiscation, is euthanasia,